As a cartel drug lord, your biggest problem is going to be counting your money. But you'll have a few guys hired to do that. And a few more guys to count your mansions, houses, planes, boats, luxury cars, and all the material possessions you could possibly dream of. Like all the kings and emperors before you too will have your very own army, driving around in custom-made tanks designed by top military equipment engineers. If you're a Mexican cartel lord, and too many of your men find themselves in prison, you just send a couple hundred of your best guys down there and get them out of jail. The guards won't stop you. Anyone you perceive as being a threat, you send a message. You chop off people's heads. You roll those heads into nightclubs, or pile them up and hang their bodies from bridges to keep your competition in line. As a cartel drug lord, you kill anybody who gets in your way, literally gunning down civilians as long as you hit your target. You'll be so used to killing, nothing will faze you anymore. Since 2006, over 50,000 people have been murdered in Mexico's war on drugs. Most of those cases remain unsolved, not because you're careful about covering up your crimes, but because you terrify the police.
What happens when you, as a public official or police chief, receive an envelope with photographs of your family? It won't take you long either to resign or to go along with their wishes.
The drug cartels have more money and more guns than the police do. In a lot of ways, that doesn't make any difference because the police are on their payrolls, but where they're not, they can literally outgun the police.
To run a global company, you need operatives all over the world, an international workforce rivaling any other Fortune 500. So where do you find your employees? Like business school does for our corporate leaders, jails are like the ultimate job fair for gangs, dealers, hitmen, and other criminals for hire.
We was in there beating people up, robbing people. I almost killed a guy. I beat him so bad that I almost killed him.
You know, tensions are high at all times. If it's not between the Bloods and Crips, it might be between the Blacks and Latinos, might be between the prison guards and the inmates.
80% of the guys in there don't have a high school diploma and grew up in a single parent home. So if you have no one to show you what manhood is, you'd be just like the sharks that's out there. Only the strong survive.
From 1920 to 1970, the rate of incarceration in the United States was level. From the Depression, World War II, the post-war boom, through the 50s, through the 60s, the rate of incarceration leveled.
Public enemy number one is drug abuse.
In 1970, the rate of incarceration starts going up. And it has not stopped going up for a half century.
Only 5% of the world is American, but today, America has 25% of the world's prisoners.
The United States of America, the land of the free, leads the world in the incarceration of our people.
We hunt the poor and incarcerate them at levels unheard of in the rest of the world.
No other nation comes close. Not China, not Russia, nobody.
There are only two explanations. One is that we are uniquely evil, and the other is that we have uniquely counterproductive laws.
And while the prison population continues to grow, the demand for illegal drugs is still rising. 50% of America has consumed an illegal drug. Do they think they can lock up half the country? There's just no stopping us.
Everybody I know wants to do drugs is doing them. They don't care if it's legal or illegal, they're doing them.
And they're proud of it. Some of America's most famous business leaders, like Steve Jobs, has said taking LSD was one of the most important experiences of his life. Quite a few Americans agree with him.
I don't think it's as much a question of drugs, and it's about freedom. Whatever this freedom word means, we really got to grab hold of that.